Welcome to Animates, a retro anime review comedy podcast. Join our resident anime nerd Mackenzie and anime noob Lindsay as they delve into their VHS vault and review the best and worst of what the 80s and 90s had to offer. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that. Hello and welcome back to Animates, your source for all things retro anime. My name is Mackenzie, joined by my bombshell of a co-host, Lindsay.
And don't you forget it, darling.
Lindsay, it's really hot.
Oh my gosh, it's so freaking hot.
Like, it's too hot.
I hate it.
So I figured this week we'd go somewhere slightly less hot right now.
Ooh.
So strap in, because we're going to go to the Windy City.
Oh, we're going to Lethbridge?
We're going to Chicago.
Ooh, okay. I realized after I said Lethbridge that I should probably have said Chicago, because I feel like more people will know that. But whatever, everybody gets to go look up Lethbridge.
Now, this city has a special place in my anime heart.
Okay.
It's the home of Irene, Rally Vincent, and Minnie-May Hopkins.
Cute.
Now, do you have any idea what sort of things they might get up to in Chicago?
Well, I would say comic books. Maybe go for a romp through the art gallery right on the river.
That's what this anime is about, is going to art galleries and romps on the river?
I'm just making Ferris Bueller references.
Oh. Well, what do you think they get up to as characters in a show?
Well, can you give me the genre of show?
No.
Rude!
You just know there's Minnie-May and Rally.
Murder.
In Chicago.
Murder.
You're not wrong.
Called it.
But you're not right in the way I think you think you're right.
So not murder.
There's some murder.
Is it a murder of crows?
No, they're just not like, they're not murderers per se. They are legal murderers.
They're assassins. They're hit people.
They are the owners of the Gunsmith Cats, a gun shop that moonlights as their headquarters for their other business, which is being badass female bounty hunters.
Amazing. I am here for this.
We've got Rally, our serious and gun-loving girl who loves the smell of gunpowder in the morning, and Minnie-May, our small but mighty explosives expert, who doesn't have a serious bone in her body and just wants to have fun and blow stuff up.
This looks adorable.
Are you Googling?
I just did a Google image search and I love it. I mean,
Yeah, this is
one of the first things that came up is a panty shot, so I'm a little worried, but it
It's
does
not
look
etchy.
really cute. Okay, good.
they're just two ladies strapped up and ready to go.
Every time you say something, I'm just so nervous that it's like a hint at something inappropriate.
No, I mean, they're physically wearing gun straps, like
Yeah.
body holsters. It's called being
Okay.
strapped.
I never know with you.
No, this is not
You
an
know.
ecchi series. It's very far from an ecchi series.
Fine.
There's some underwear, but it's just like casual underwear.
Okay, fine.
This is not sci-fi. It's not fantasy.
Ooh.
It's not horror. It is just two girls getting blackmailed by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms over their slightly illegal collections of guns and explosives
It's
into
fine.
helping them take down some gangsters. It's a classic street-level shoot-'em-up.
I'm so excited. This looks amazing.
I have loved this since I was a kid. I still have my VHS for it. It's on my bookshelf, so I'm glad I can share it with you today. It's short. It's only 3 episodes for the whole series.
Amazing.
I love both of these characters deeply. I'm sure you'll see why once you watch it. I'm
feel
sure
like
you'll
I have
share
an
a lot
idea.
of those reasons. Is it the Nabiki style cut on the one girl? Because that
Yeah.
might be part of it.
Yeah, her leather jacket.
She's also just, they're badasses, okay?
I'm excited.
So let's go watch, as the VHS box says, the bold, the beautiful Gunsmith Cats.
Girls, guns, grenades!
And we are back from watching Gunsmith Cats, and I gotta know, Lindsay, was it the right caliber of anime that was a lock, stock, and a barrel of fun? Or was it shooting blanks and lacking that explosive spark?
Absolutely the first one. I
Hell
loved
yeah.
this show.
Yeah, you did.
This was a very, very good choice, Mackenzie. You You son of a bitch, you pulled it off.
It's so damn good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like, it's funny, it's action packed. There's like decent female representation in it. It definitely passes the Bechdel test. There's like amazing backdrops. The music is really cool. Overall, great package. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
It is an OVA that properly paces itself and has no loose ends in an ending after just 3 episodes, which is still my beating heart. But also, I would have loved like 3 more batches of 3 episodes.
Oh, absolutely. This is one that I would love to see a modern remake of.
Hell yeah, because it just feels right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is it a super unique story that's never been told before? No.
But it's told really well.
Yeah, it hits that 80s cop movie vibe perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
Absolutely.
about getting a bullseye.
Hitting the target right in the center.
That's a bullseye.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to repeat you.
Some good commentary from us here at Animates. Also, it looks really good.
Holy moly. It's beautiful. Like, my first thing I wrote down was, holy moly, these layouts are gorgeous. Oh, they're stunning. I love it. I love it. I love it.
The framing in this show is incredible because it's like the action chase scenes in the cars are not just like above level following cars through a street. You've got unique, interesting angles of what's going on, from like over top of like the steering wheels to like the rear view mirrors to like following the cars as they race through winding streets, but like really detailed animation in it. It's so good.
Oh,
And
yeah.
even like character designs are nice.
I love the character designs. Everyone has their own specific look. They have a clear personality. I think they're really cool. And they all have a purpose.
Even if they are a little skeezy at times, they all have their purpose.
Exactly.
Who is your favorite character?
Oh, man. I do love May.
God, May is so dear to my heart because she's just ready to live and have fun.
Absolutely. And she's just so chaotic. I love it. And just like the personal touches she has on her hand grenades are just perfection. I love it.
It is such a nice touch in the series when like she opens her jacket and it's like the kissy grenade, the eyeballs bleeding for the flashing grenades, like just like the
smiling one, like just the one with the bow on it. Like, they're all so funny. I think the only person I had trouble recognizing was Bill.
Yeah, he's got a very generic kind of face, but like as skeezy as he is, I kind of love Bill.
Oh, absolutely.
He's just like, he's just doing his job. Technically, he just doesn't want to put in the effort himself.
Yeah, exactly. He's got some interesting tactics. I love him. I love them all. I want more.
And we'll get more into the characters kind of as we experience them and break them down in later on. But I have to say, usually the girls with guns genre is filled to the brim with fan service.
Mm-hmm.
And this has a couple of shots, but none of it's like egregious, and it's certainly not overdone.
Well, yeah, and I think because I didn't mind the fan service in this one because the women had personality. They were their own, like, that wasn't the only purpose that they served was to be fan service. Like, they were fully developed characters.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And even when like May is flying off of a car and you get an upskirt shot, her stockings are in the way. They're like, no, she's wearing stockings. We're going to see stockings.
Yep.
So, or even when like she's in her underwear trying to figure out what to get dressed as. That's just a normal everyday thing.
Yeah, and the shots aren't like, porny at all.
No, I mean the crane scene's a little, but like,
oh yeah,
whatever. It works because they're not just there to be sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
That being said, Rally Vincent.
Oh yeah, she's so cool.
She's so cool.
Oh my gosh, and I love her outfit. I think it's so cool. The gun she has is so cool.
It is just like sleek looking.
Oh, it's
and they're
so cool.
Smart too. And May's not shown as being smart, but she's still smart.
She's clever.
But Rally is just, she's smart. She's quick to it. She's got that wit. She's not afraid to just like be like, nah, fuck you guys.
She will tease you and she won't apologize for it. She'll read a bitch.
Now, this opening sequence is probably in my top 5.
Oh, it's so cool. It made me think of Cowboy Bebop.
That literally it is a contender for going up against Cowboy Bebop because it's just so hyper stylized and so well done. It
Mhm.
really feels like a Chicago police show opening.
Oh, and the like title card at the very end of the theme is just so perfect with it like being the
Mhm.
stitching on the back of the leather jacket. I love it.
Mhm. I would love a patch on the back of that jacket. I would say in my entire lifetime, if I wore that every day, maybe 2 people would ever know what it means.
I would be one of them.
You would be now. Yeah, that's true.
100%.
Let's get further into it and breaking down these
What happens?
episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we start out, there's like this burly guy in like a shady hotel room, and he gets a call and he answers it, and there's like this little girl on the other side. And he starts like getting nervous, and he's like, as soon as he hangs up, he starts packing his bag and stuff. And it's really funny because as a viewer, you don't know anything yet. You're like, he's scared of a tiny little girl. And he's like grabs a sawed-off shotgun and blah blah blah. And these 2 girls from outside are like starting to walk into the hotel, and you're like, okay, little girl, let's see what she can do. And yeah, he's like packing up and everything, and just a grenade with a pink bow is thrown into his room. And it explodes, like it's like a smoke grenade or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, ah, shit. So the girls find him, but we find out that they're bounty hunters, like that's their jobs. And so this guy gets taken to jail, all that fun stuff. And then we get our jazzy little opening that we just finished talking about. And when we come back from that, we're in the Gunsmith Cats gun store. Is that what you would call it?
Yes, it's a gun
Yeah.
store.
And we see Rally in the back getting a phone call from a girl saying this guy's in trouble because they want to arrest him for drugs, and he didn't have any, but he still ran away. And she's like, well, then why did he run away if he knew he didn't have drugs? Like, that just makes him look super guilty.
Which, like, true. If you've done nothing wrong, don't run.
This call gets cut short because there's a light flashing above the door, letting them know that they have a customer. And it's a police officer coming to look to get some customization on his gun. She gets the gun, and then she looks in it. There's a round in the barrel.
You leave it to the cop to leave a bullet in the chamber.
Right? I was like, how do you not know that? Like, that's terrifying. So she's like, you should not leave this. Oh my gosh. It's
Like,
awful.
asks her out.
Yeah.
But she's like, and here's another thing I like about Rally is this creepy cop's like, hey, well, maybe I could take you for dinner. And she's just looking at the gun still like, no, I'm okay. Thank you though. And it's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then May comes in and she starts razzing her for having no riz. But also, no, that cop was gross. Like,
yeah,
you're not missing out.
She doesn't have riz. It's true.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be rizzing up that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So the razzing gets interrupted because some mysterious guy comes in, and turns out he's from the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division, or the ATF, as we are going to call it from here on out.
Yeah, we're not doing that whole name.
No, we don't have time. And he's basically like, I need your help tracking down illegal arms trafficking or whatever. And they're like, no. And he was like, well, I could just come to your house with a warrant. You know, you probably don't have any illegal firearms or explosives or anything there. They're like, shit.
I get it. I wouldn't want to do the work for free either.
Mm-hmm.
But man, blackmail sucks.
Oh, absolutely. Ugh. Well, in the next scene, they're at their house and they're looking for what to have for dinner. They don't have anything in their fridge except for C4.
You gotta keep it cold.
Iconic. Totally iconic. And they're like having a discussion about like, let's have pizza. No, I don't want pizza. We always have Chinese food. And
my first thought while watching this scene is, and they were roommates.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
but
man.
May does have a boyfriend. We know she has a boyfriend because it cuts to her sleeping. She's basically humping a pillow while being like, oh, whatever your name was, I don't remember.
I love May. She's great.
Like, one more time, please.
She's great. She's so funny. But yeah, so they're having a conversation about the officer from the ATF that they just met. And they're like, yeah, like his hair is one thing, but like he has no style.
His mom dresses him.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't know this, that they're being tapped. He's like, in the van outside their house hearing
Yeah, their
them
cops
just
are just like
raid
making
him.
fun of him over this.
Oh man, which like maybe that is good that he's pretty generic looking then. But yeah, so later on that night when they're all in bed, there's a bunch of guys that break into their house. They're like, yeah, this is where all the stuff is, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't wait to see what they have. And Rally gets a little blinking alarm sent to her. She's like, oh, son of a. So she's like getting up.
No. This is not an son of a. She is excited that there's burglars because it means she can murder them.
I mean, true. That is true.
She is so excited that there are burglars.
She's like, they haven't tried this in a while.
Exactly.
So, you know, she starts going down to get them. They're already in the armory room or whatever. And they start blasting. And these guys are terrible shots. They cannot hit anything. It's crazy.
She doesn't even flinch. She just stares at them while they're shooting around her like, really?
Yeah, exactly. And like she takes out two of them, but the third runs away. And she's like, no, not in there. And turns out it's the ammunition room. And we just cut back to outside of their house and they're just like, and then smoke starts coming out of one of the windows. I cackled.
May loves her grenades. That whole house is booby-trapped if you go the wrong way.
100%. Just Home Alone to the teeth. But yeah, so this happens, and of course the cops are outside. So they arrest these thieves. This is when Rally and May agree to cooperate with them.
Also, like, what a dick move. You're like, we know these people are going to break into their house.
We're not going to stop them.
We're going to use it as a way to get in to see that they actually have illegal firearms so that we can hold it over them even more.
Mm-hmm,
I also love that May just makes fun of Rally for her underwear.
It's the middle of the night. My thing is, why is she wearing an underwire bra to bed?
I don't know. That was a bit much.
As soon as I'm in my own house, that thing is off.
But I just love that May's like, well, at least you're wearing a clean pair tonight.
I love May. So the next day, she goes to visit Washington, who was the guy from the opening scene in jail.
Yeah.
Trying to like buy his guns off him and trying to like figure out where all these shipments are coming from. And he's like, no. It basically is like convincing them like, if you want me to help you and let you take the guns, you're going to have to pay up. So Rally pays his bail, so he gets out. She meets him at his warehouse later on, where it's like a bunch of goons just hanging out and sitting on crates. I don't know, doing goon stuff.
Do you...
What?
Just a bunch of... Do you know what gooning is?
No. Oh, no.
The term goon has been turned into meaning masturbating.
Oh, I mean,
just a bunch of dudes chilling on crates gooning.
Oh my gosh. Well, now that changes things.
Love a good goon scene in a warehouse.
Oh my gosh, just gooning around.
just
polishing their guns.
I love that they're like letting Rally in and taking her guns.
Mm-hmm.
Just
like the one up the sleeve one.
Yeah. Is that everything? She's does this count? I love a sleeve gun.
It's amazing. I love it. I'm so happy that was in there. So from here they take her up to go see Washington, and Washington just has porn on his computer.
Yeah. Speaking of gooning in the warehouse.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. It's funny because it's like a woman on her back and she just has one titty out.
He has very specific tastes.
Yeah, very specific tastes. I was like, all right. I mean, everybody has their own thing. I guess one titty is what Washington wants. So he's like, well, I'm glad you came to see me. Come this way. And they take him to another room where Bill from the ATF is just tied up because they found him snooping around outside of the warehouse. And they're like, fuck this guy. He's a police officer. And so Washington is like, okay, so you want this to be a partnership? You have to kill him.
I mean, you gotta prove your worth.
You gotta build trust somehow.
But fuck trust.
Yeah, but also fuck trust. Also, they gave her one single bullet to do it with, which I mean, that's not very trusting.
Yeah, she's so mad about this.
So yeah, she takes the gun and then shoots the ropes that Bill is tied up in, and they basically just like take Washington down a second time.
Hell yeah.
And they have him in handcuffs and they're like taking him out, and then all of the henchmen start blasting. So they like push Washington over the railings as he's handcuffed.
I thought he died.
I thought
it looks like
he
his
would die.
Back breaks because he goes,
yeah.
and then just silence.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you would absolutely be dead.
Also, his hands are behind his back, so he's landing with his hands like this to arc the back even more with that pressure. If bro isn't dead, bro would be paralyzed.
100%. That's no bueno for Washington. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so a shoot off, I guess, ensues in this warehouse, and we got Rally up on the bridge thing, railing, whatever, walkways,
The
catwalks.
catwalk.
Yeah, that thing. Bill's on the ground, and they're like, whoa!
It's nice to see a more or less realistic gunfight in an anime because we
Yeah.
watch a lot of over the top stuff. And this is just feels more like nitty gritty, raw, just like if I get shot, I'm dead. That's it.
Mhm.
Like if I get shot, my arm's useless. If I get shot here, I'm limping. It's not just like, oh, I've been shot, but I can keep going for 10 more bullets.
I'm invincible.
Yeah, there's none of that. It's just like, and it's super well animated. Love a good shootout scene.
Well, and it the way it ends is fabulous because May just chucks an armful of grenades into the warehouse. And that's how it ends.
Because she's been like being held in the back of the car with like tied up, being like, don't come in here.
Yeah, they're like, you cannot come in here. And then she like is an
May knows
escape
what's
master.
right.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
But boy, was Kid Me so stoked when I watched the VHS for the first time. My parents were like, oh, hey, cool cop anime. Here you go. And I was like, cool. And then all of a sudden, Crane swipes by and she just dodges it and it rips open her shirt. And I was like,
But only on the boobies.
oh my God.
My
She's
thing was
wearing a
her
lacy
bra looks
bra.
undone.
Yeah, it's like a very weirdly shaped lacy bra.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand how that's saying to her body. It's not connecting in the front. What's happening?
Don't
But
ask
anyways.
questions.
Yeah. Anyways, that's how we end episode 1. And so we open on episode 2, and we're in a port of some kind. You know, there's like sketchy gun trafficking happening. They just straight up murder the Canadian security guard that's working there. My favorite is that, like, so our lead Russian, who we learned is going to be the antagonist, like, has this weird knife that's like jet propelled.
Yeah.
And she uses it, and then there's like the guys in the back being like, that's so stupid. Only an idiot would use a weapon that you have to retrieve after. Like,
Which like sounds correct.
yeah, absolutely.
Until you learn that she's never not killed a target.
Yeah.
So
Like,
if you're
she's
always a
deadly.
one shot, one kill, who cares?
she's One Punch Man.
Yeah. But also leave it to Americans to proposition an ex-KGB that they just watched murder someone.
Yep, 100%.
Hey, baby, I got something else you can like.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy. So she's just like given a new assignment or like another job, and they're like, of course we'll pay you.
In heroin.
Yeah, in heroin.
She does not want money. She wants heroin.
Jeez. I'm like, but money would be so much more.
100
It's easier to
pounds
take
of
money.
heroin.
Yeah, it's easier to take money across a border.
She doesn't care.
Yeah, absolutely not. So from here we cut to Washington. He's with the cats at an ATF safe house, which is tapped, of course, because the ATF owns it. And he finds the mic cable. He like pulls it out. And he's like, I don't have much time. It's not safe here. You can't trust the ATF. And they're like, what? And he like gives Rally this Rolex and tells her to deliver it to his daughter for him. And she's like, what? So they're driving and they're talking about the watch when the Russian lady, who whose name we find out later is Natasha.
Natasha.
That was terrible. Natasha. It was much better.
No.
Anyways, she's driving in her Mercedes and just like is driving straight for them head on. And Rally does her like expert maneuvering to get them out of the way. And she calls her a punk bitch and she won't forget her face. And I was like, yes.
Rally holds grudges.
Oh, absolutely.
Will fuck you up.
100%. And we learned that Russian girl was speeding off to the safe house that they just left. And she just starts killing a bunch of people. And then we learn she has a jacket like John Wick that's bulletproof. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. You got to admit, she's pretty badass.
She's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love her. She's great. She's a great antagonist for this series.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so basically she kills Washington and Bill gets framed for it. And they think that he's the leak at the ATF. But also there's like, no, he just says like, I'm not the leak. And we're like, okay, you can keep working. Like,
Yeah, you're just off this one case.
very little detective work happens.
Well, they're the actual police. So, I mean,
Yeah.
murder is usually the police's jurisdiction, not the ATF's.
I know, but even still, I'm like, if you're suspected of being a leak, maybe you should just be like suspended. I don't know. I don't work in policing, but
You're not wrong.
oh man. So the girls go deliver this Rolex, and it turns out it's just this like big black dude who answers the door, and they're like, what? So it turns out it's a fake Rolex.
Wrong address.
And he doesn't have a daughter. So later that night, they're like talking about the fake Rolex and stuff like that. And they have like a little scuff between them. And while they're having this scuff, they find the tap that Bill put in their house. And they're like, oh, hell no. And so they get Becky, who's their like IT person, their
She's
third.
everything.
She's like a tertiary assistant for these two. And she's like knocks on the back of the van and she brings them pizza, being like, we found your tap. Leave us alone. And they're like, oh, crap. And they drive away. But oh, I laughed so hard at this. As they're driving away, we find out that May was under their van.
She's just chilling in a nightie under the van.
Yep, 100%. And as they're driving off, the van explodes. Oh, it was so good. I loved it so much.
She's so funny.
And so the cats peel off in their own car as the Russian lady shows up.
Before we cut to the lady, the Russian lady again, we saw her a little bit before, and she's in a hotel room. And she's on the phone talking about her next targets, which are Rally and May. But there's a huge translation error made during the initial animation, which means it's also seen in the sub.
Oh.
Rally / Irene's name is listed as Larry Vincent. And her nationality is United Kingdom.
Oh.
And for some reason, they used a real Chicago address.
Oh, no.
I did look it up, and sadly, no, the houses do not match up.
Oh, lame.
But yeah, for some reason, she's Larry Vincent from the United Kingdom.
Wow, she's British. She's like MI5.
MI6?
MI6. I don't know. I don't. Secret agent.
Anyways, Russian lady's on the move.
Yes, the Russian lady is clearly hunting them down. And
you'd think for being a baddie, Natasha would be anti-heroin.
Get out. Leave. It's the end of the podcast. Couldn't even make it a year.
You'd think she'd love these girls.
Get out.
Huh?
Boo.
Sorry.
Oh, man. So we're back at the cat's shop. And they're trying to like...
favorite place to be is the cat store.
Yeah, that's like basically where you live.
It's true.
But we're at the cat shop, and they're trying to like figure out this fake Rolex, and they're like, it has to mean something. Like, we have to find something. And through their like genius, they are able to figure out there's like numbers engraved on the watch, and that the like the note that he gave them with the address is like a website code or something like that. So they go to the computer and type this in, and it brings them to the porn site that he was looking at when we first see him in the warehouse. And I was like,
first you're like,
gosh.
Oh, he's really just trolling them.
Yep, 100%. And then they type in the like secret code, and they're like, oh, it's like a schedule of all the guns that have been imported and things like that. Like,
also, I love seeing people use the internet in the 90s.
Oh, it's great.
I miss that old internet aesthetic. As someone who builds websites, I love seeing old websites and just like that 800 by 600 frame, the wild scrolling text, the bright backgrounds. Oh,
it's excellent.
It's so good. I don't miss dial-up. I will say that, though.
No, dial-up. Oh, man. I'm glad I don't remember much of it.
See, my mom worked from home, which meant that if I was playing an online game like Diablo, I would be getting kicked off my game every like 20 minutes as like a client would call my mom.
Oh, no.
It made me very sad.
Kids these days will never know.
They just don't understand.
They don't get it. Oh, man. Anyways, back to the show. So turns out Bill also hacked this computer.
Yeah, he just snuck in there somehow
everywhere
without her knowing and just like planted all the bugs.
So he's like, haha, I also have this data now. And so the girls go and break into a yacht club to investigate, and they find all the guns that were being shipped, but they're caught. But, you know, May, being who she is, has a grenade in her mouth ready to go, and everybody starts blasting.
I cannot understate how great the animation in this scene is.
It's so cool.
The framing of the flash grenade scene as she's pulling the rubber band off of it with her teeth, the flash and the shooting in this flash. Oh my God. It's so freaking good.
Mhm.
Also, they're wearing different outfits again, which I also appreciate.
I know. I love when an animated series do that.
It's so good. Oh. What's actually crazy is the gunplay in the show is toned down compared to the manga.
Really?
The explosives and the fight scenes in the manga are somehow more intense,
Well,
which
that's
is
cool.
crazy.
I mean, this whole entire scene is just crazy. And then, yeah, so like it ends with basically Natasha kidnapping May.
Oh, poor small May.
No.
Without Boom Boom, she's in Doom Doom.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
But it's true. Like, she's not a shooter. She's not a fighter.
No.
She's a tactician in the sense that she does the traps and the booms. Yeah. And as soon as she's just like alone, it's like, well, I guess I'm getting kidnapped.
Yeah. And then we got like this really crazy like car chase scene.
This is what I was talking about.
It was cool. It was so cool.
It's not just overhead. It's like over the dashboard, rear view mirrors, under the car, behind the cars. It's speeding through all this stuff. Like, it's no corners were cut with this.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was so good. And yeah, I just loved how it ended. Cause like Natasha shoots out the car, like Rally's windshield and stuff like that. And they're like, huh. And then Rally's like, that actually made it easier for me to do this. And like shoots in the car, and turns out the bullet was a grenade or something.
No.
Okay, what was the little red? There was like a red sphere.
May and Rally, as chaotic as they are with each other, are perfectly in sync. You'll notice she's like, all right, time to put the music on. She puts the tape into the tape deck. The music starts. She knows as soon as she wakes May up that May is going to start a plan that they've predetermined because they've got a million plans.
Wow.
So May sets explosives in the car, explodes it as she jumps out of the back windshield, which is timed perfectly so she lands on the hood of Rally's car. And then as the car goes up, she sets off the next explosion, blowing it up as it goes off this bridge that's coming up to let a vehicle through.
Oh, I just thought it was a grenade bullet.
No.
That blew May out of the back.
No. She set up like a whole system in there because she kicks open the heel of her shoe and it's got explosive C4 and a detonator in it.
Oh, man. I must have been taking notes during that part because I didn't see that.
May is prepped for everything, which is why I love her so much.
She's a Girl Scout. She's got it.
They're perfectly in sync. They know what they're doing. That's okay that you didn't catch that. It's pretty quick.
Oh,
so
I'll that's how we end the episode, is with Natasha driving off a drawbridge. And we're like, oh shit.
Guess she's dead.
Oh, darn it. Well, we interrupt this episode to start episode 3 with an urgent breaking news bulletin. Some Russian baddie has driven off a bridge, but no bodies have been found at this point in time, so clearly she's washed away and will never be seen again in this show. Krept police deputy reports that Russian lady's name is Natasha, and she's a Russian special agent. And she's basically the Terminator. Anyways, back to you, Mackenzie.
Dang, we should get you on Dropouts breaking news. You did pretty good. No laughs, nothing. Oh, never mind. You laughed, you lose.
We were done. I threw it back to you.
You threw it back to me?
Yes.
Dang, girl.
I threw it back for you.
Not since 2015.
We did it in 2016.
Oh, you're right.
I was in Vancouver in 2015.
Right. Never mind.
Anyways, so, we get all this info about like her being, they haven't found a body, all that stuff. And so as the cats are heading back to their car, Natasha has left a Bowie knife in the hood. And Riley's like, this bitch.
Shit.
Man, she's pissed. Nobody does that to her car. Oh, man. So they go back to their store and they find out that the like Senator Eddie Hines or whatever wants to give them a special award at the political rally tomorrow. And they're like, oh, well, that's really lovely. So when they get home, they try to figure out what they want to wear. And May's like, Rally, you should try on this pair of heels. And she's like, I hate you. She's like, I can't even walk in these. Like,
she's
what?
like falling over.
And then the door knocks. She's like, I should go. She's like wobbling to try and open the door. And May's like, you can take them off now. She's like, no, I mustn't. And she like opens the door, but they have the chain lock on it, and they see someone's there, so she like pulls her gun. And it's, of course, it's Bill.
Yeah, of course, it's Bill.
You know, she may be in her pumps, but she is no problem being able to reach her gun. It was great because May chirps from the living room like, "Oh, look, the heels helped you to attract a man, Rally."
I love her
it
comeback
so
to that
much.
line.
What was
She's
her
like,
comeback?
she goes, if that's what I get for wearing heels, I'm switching to combat boots. Because Rally does not want skis-ball Bill. She wants a big, beefy metal head.
I mean, no, man. So they like close the door on him, and he's like, "No!" And then apparently the Chicago Police Department have been ordered to not let anyone near the house.
Yeah, they're kind of like under protection.
Yeah. So they have to like escort Bill away. He's like, "Damn it." Oh, man. And then, yeah, like he goes back to the office, and his secretary is like, "I think I found something." And they check the phone records, and apparently George Black from Safe House number 6 has been showing up on the phone records. And so that tells Bill that I guess he's the captain, the police chief.
He's the police chief.
Yeah. Who is like the leak. And they're like, "Oh," which I was also like, this is like, if you're the police chief, I feel like you should not be caught because you used your ID on the phone.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Why would you use your real ID and your login name?
Like, you deserve to be caught.
Oh, but also,
No, man.
leave it to the police chief to be corrupt.
Yeah, right. I also thought that when I was watching this. Oh, man. So Bill goes to investigate Safe House number 6, and apparently this is where Natasha's been holding out, and she assassinates the police chief.
With like the weirdest single shot pistol.
Yeah, it is really weird. But yeah, by the time Bill gets there, he finds that like, oh, the police chief's dead, and his like partner goes to move him, and he's like, "Stop it, we have to check." And there's like a grenade under the body, which this part I was like, does this work? Like, he takes the live grenade and puts a toothpick where the pin would be.
Yes.
Does that actually work?
You can repin a grenade.
I did not know that. I thought you could not. I thought once the pin was gone, it was blown up. Well, we learned something new today. So he repins the grenade, and his partner's like, "You know what we should do? We should redial on the phone to see who they last called." And so they're like, "That's a great idea." So he does. And who did they call? But the corrupt senator who's giving the Cats an award tomorrow.
Wow, a
Eddie
corrupt
Hines.
senator.
Oh my gosh.
Who saw it coming?
A corrupt senator working with a Russian hit person? No.
Never.
Bill runs off, and then the partner puts the phone down, and it was rigged to explode. So there goes the safe house.
Love this scene because he's like, sees him running out. He's like, "Where's the fire, big guy?" Which is a fantastic line, followed by a fantastic, highly detailed explosion. Mwah.
Mhm.
Chef's kiss. Love it.
No notes.
Great.
It's excellent. So the next day we're at the rally, and the girls are brought up to receive their award on stage. And Natasha starts making her way through the crowd up to the front. And right before she shoots, Bill warns them, and like Rally's heel breaks off, and she falls out of the way of being shot. And I was like, "Oh, well, that's good." And like Natasha runs off. She's like, "Job done," even though she didn't.
I also love May's little like French street outfit.
It's so cute.
She's got like little like bright pink and white sneakers and everything, like a little red
little
beret and striped
beret.
shirt. But it's funny though, because she was like, "Rally, you've got to wear heels tomorrow." And then she shows up and she's like, "This is my chilling at the cafe outfit."
Yeah, she's not wearing heels. Oh, it was great.
But it's also perfect for her character. It would have been weird to have her get fancily dressed up.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, man. But yeah, so like Rally takes off her shoes and chases after Natasha, and they run into, I think it's City Hall? It looks like some sort of like...
It's like a city hall type building, yeah.
Yeah, some sort of government building, it looks
under
like.
construction.
That's like, yeah, that's under renovation. And they like get mics to like keep in contact with each other. And so Rally goes on the roof, and May is like going to the back or something. They split up, and Rally gets up, and she catches up to Natasha, and she basically is like, "There's nowhere to go, Natasha, turn around." And Natasha turns around and reveals that she has a detonator hand, and she just blows up the water tower thing that's right next to Rally, and it like sends May flying off the roof. And this part was so cool. So Natasha uses her like propeller gun, or no, her propeller knife to like shoot a knife into Rally's shoulder, like basically pinning her to the wall. And it looks like it's like curtains for Rally. It's not looking good. And so what does May do? She is on scaffolding below. She puts a grenade in a bucket and cuts the rope so it just like flings up and fires it right at Natasha, allowing for Rally to escape. It's so good. I loved it.
I love that scene. She's like on the walkie-talkie in her ear and she's like, get ready to run. And again, because they're so in sync, she knows exactly what that means.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing this show has taught me, it's that I need to carry flash grenades with me everywhere.
Yeah, I've already placed an order for Amazon.
Because they have proven to be infinitely useful.
Clearly you need them in like everyday life.
Oh yeah. I also really love that no one in this is a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rally gets her shoulder. She can't lift her arm because it's like the muscle's been torn away from this giant knife. Like she's bleeding out. There's real stakes, which is nice to see in something.
Exactly. I loved it too. It was just, and even just like the cleverness of how they get out of things is so like, it's still believable.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It is still like fiction. Like it's like, it's not realistic, but it's believable, yeah. I guess. You know,
I just like when they run away, May's like, I've set up a few traps, but it's like a million.
She's just like Home Alone the entire building. Oh my gosh. Well, and the thing is like, it doesn't work. Natasha's like, I know what you'll do. That's a terrible Russian accent. But she's basically like, I'm just going to follow this trail of blood. And we're like, oh shit. Like, what are they going to do? And they're like trembling in a like bathroom stall. And you see Natasha like walking towards it. And you're like, oh shit. And turns out they had Home Alone this stall to detonate. And so bye, Natasha.
Okay. Such a smart move. Bleed into one stall and then sneak in the other one without letting any blood drop.
Mm-hmm.
Also, though, a shrapnel trap is brutal.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's not good.
Full of, like, broken glass and screws. Because even if, like, you don't get burned, you are lacerated to all hell.
Oh, yeah. That is slicing through you like butter.
Like, it's one thing to have a limb blown off. It's another to have a limb that is ribbons.
Because you're losing it.
Well, if you blow it off, you're losing it, too. But, like, for some reason, ribbons for me just feels worse.
Well, because it's like not as instantaneous.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so Eddie Hines, Mr. Senator, he's not happy. And so he's like, we need to get rid of this Russian, like, get rid of her, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying this, like, as he's going into a boardroom and he sees Natasha standing facing, like, the curtains. And he's like, And he basically, like, starts doing the bad guy monologue of his entire evil plan. And he just has like a bunch of incriminating things, and he's like, yeah, like, turn around, and turns around and it's not Natasha, it's a reporter. But it's great because they're broadcasting this basically to the political rally, and that's how they save the day. It's great. He's
not just a corrupt mayor. They catch him saying that he wanted to get rid of all of the people of color off of the streets.
Yeah. And he wants to get rid of guns because then the illegal guns will go up in price and be more expensive. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable.
So what a dope fake out to get that senator fucked up.
I know.
People take note.
Don't monologue your evil plans.
No, I was going to say trap your senators doing terrible things.
Oh, yeah, that too.
No, the other one should do that. We want them to say their evil plans out loud.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, my bad.
But all is good, right? Like, everything's good. Natasha's dead.
Yeah, Natasha gets loaded into the back of she's in a body bag getting loaded into an ambulance. We're like, yeah, everything's done. The girls are like standing there. It's the sunset. Then all of a sudden there's commotion in the ambulance. And Natasha just jumps out of it with an axe. And starts running towards Rally to kill her, just like full on Jack from The Shining. Like, holy shit. Why won't she die? She's died like 5 times in this series and she just is not dead. And so she goes to swing at Rally and Rally's like, shit, my arm hurts. I can't lift it, so I can't shoot. So it's like not looking good for Rally. And then somewhere off screen, there's a bullet that hits the axe and basically breaks the metal part off of the handle. And this pushes Rally back And because she pushes back, she's able to angle her gun and just fires like 5 shots into Tasha. And definitely killing her this time. She is dead.
This scene is brutal because she's got this bulletproof coat, but the coat's open in the front. So we see the bullets going through her, and like the coat is like pointing up as the bullets are trying to get through.
Yeah.
So they're going through her, but not the coat. And it's just like 7 shots straight into her chest.
Man, it was brutal.
So good.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. And yeah, so we learned that it was Bill who shot the axe and helped save the day. Of course.
Look, he's skeezy, but he means well.
He does.
I do truly believe that Bill and Rally would probably actually be a good relationship.
I feel like they would too.
Like, they're both just so dry and cocky.
There's just something about them.
There's just something about them that would work. We never actually get to meet May's boyfriend, but he must put up with a lot.
He's probably like that quiet type.
Quiet, nerdy type.
Yep.
No, that makes sense.
100%.
And a relationship's got to have one if the one girl's absolutely batshit crazy. I don't mean crazy in a bad way.
No, not at all. We've talked about how much we love Bay throughout this entire thing.
Hell yeah. So now you've watched all 3 episodes.
I have.
You've already told me you liked it. You've already told me you want more. If you were to give it a score, what would you rate it?
Like an 8.1?
Ooh, going above the 8.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, me too. I'm more of like probably closer to like an 8.8 for me, but you're higher than the average. But the average is still pretty high. The average sits at 7.37.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then on the written reviews on Mal, there's no not recommendeds. So
Great.
It's a fairly well-liked title, which is pretty awesome. Not a lot of people know it, but those that do love it. It's only been rated by 25,000 people. And like you said earlier, it deserves more. And I think it is relevant enough that it could be remade and still feel good.
Yeah, it wouldn't feel, I feel like it's a concept that you could put in modern day and it wouldn't feel aged.
It's like Cat's Eye. You could modernize Cat's Eye and it would still feel pretty cool. I'm so glad because I've been wanting to get you to watch this for a while, and then it just, for some reason, I kept finding something else and putting it off. And then last week I had mentioned, I'll have you watch, Gunsmith Cats one day, and one of the episodes, and I was like, that's gonna be next week.
Today is the day.
We're gonna do it because it's nothing technically special in like a unique sense, but everything it does is so freaking good.
Absolutely.
That it doesn't matter.
Done. Everyone, go watch this.
You can actually just watch it on YouTube.
Oh, fabulous.
Also, we didn't mention this yet, but I actually like their voices.
Yeah.
So yeah, we clearly both think y'all should go watch this. It's only 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's worth your time.
It's an hour and a half. It'll be absolutely be worth your time. You're gonna have a good time with Girls with Guns. So yeah, let's put a pin in it. Huh?
Let's put a toothpick in it.
That works too. So it seems like the general gist is that the Gunsmith Cats is the perfect blend of entertainment, action, and humor. They're cats. Come on.
I know. I don't know why my brain wasn't making that connection.
The creators did a bang up job. Studio OLM really...
They shot from the hip with this one.
If you're on the prowl for some more action-packed episodes, you can check out the rest of our backlog where we've got tons of stuff from all genres of anime from the 80s and 90s. If you'd like to check out our YouTube channel, we're posting a bunch of content upcoming, plus our most recent, which is a Clow card tier list of all 53 cards. You can check that on youtube.com/@animates, because for some reason they put an ampersand in there. If you want to follow us on socials, it's also @animates everywhere. And if you'd like to help out the podcast, you can check out our free Patreon at patreon.com/animates, or you can follow and like the podcast on all your favorite podcasting platforms. It really helps out. Oh, sorry. And if you can give us a rating, only if you like the podcast, of course, that greatly helps us out. But we will catch you next time when Lindsay will be hosting, and we'll see what she's got for us next week.
Be prepared.
Are we doing vampires again with that one?
No, we're not. No, I'm giving vampires a break.
That's rare. Anyways, bye.
Ciao, ciao.